Hi guys, it's Brittany with Eating Elephants, and this is my third time starting over. So you guys might just get this one however it turns out. Today I wanted to talk about an elephant that I'm eating, a situation that I'm trying to deal with that I thought I had already dealt with and that has crept back into my life, and that is binge eating. And it's something that I did in the past and haven't done in about 3 years. And it's confusing, a little confusing, because I am in a better mental and emotional place now than I've been probably in all of my life that I can remember. So it's a little bit perplexing, but at the same time, I can see where there's things lacking in my life that I need to deal with that could perpetuate having that issue. And one thing is, it is currently about 6 a.m. and I've been up since about 3. And I didn't go to bed until probably after midnight. And this has been a pattern for a very long time. I know parents of small children are sleep deprived a lot of the time. I have 2 small children, 2 under 2, a 1-year-old and a 7-month-old. And my 1-year-old, Ricky, he has had sleep problems most of his life. And I had a very difficult pregnancy with him, with just discomforts, all kind of things that kept me from sleeping. So I have been sleep deprived for a very long time, and it is not getting any much better. It's not getting, it's gotten a little better, and it's not getting any worse, but it hadn't gotten better to where I have made up any of my sleep deficit. And I think that lack of sleep is hindering my ability to deal with stress. And I do have stress in my life. You know, taking care of 2 children under 2 years old is stressful. I've just moved out on my own after the divorce. So when I left my husband, I moved in with my parents to recover, and I've just moved out on my own. And so there's the money, trying to provide for my kids while I'm in school and everything. There's the stress of just raising 2 kids as a single mother. There is the stress of school, there is the stress of work, and there's just the life stresses. And it's hard to deal with when you have such a large sleep deficit. So I think I try to sublimate my sleep deficit with food. So I've noticed over the last few weeks that my stress eating was getting out of hand. I have had my eating disorder under control for 3 years, as I've said, but I do the thing that most people do, which is whenever I'm celebrating and I'm really happy and I'm in an emotional high, I eat. And that's a cultural thing, of course, in the South. When we're happy, we eat. But I also do the thing where if I'm particularly stressed or if I'm in an emotional low, I will also eat. But it's not to the extreme. It's just, oh goodness, I have all these tests due. I'm really busy. Oh my goodness, I'm so stressed. I'm gonna have a bar of chocolate, or I'm gonna have my favorite meal, And I think that's also normal when it's not out of hand. And I think it was at a normal level for me. But over the last few weeks, I noticed that I was stress eating just about every day. I was having some type of food item that I usually would not have. And this was happening every day. And I know I'm a large woman. I've recently had some weight loss, but I eat pretty healthily. I think I eat more healthily than most Americans, for sure. I eat, my fruits, my veggies. I try to live as holistically as possible, and it's a journey. But last night, after the kids went to bed, I usually you know, take a shower, clean up a little bit, do some homework. There's things I have to do after the kids go to bed. And that's why I don't just pass out when they go to sleep and then wake up when they wake up. I have to do things, okay, that I usually can't do if they are around and awake. So, but after they went to bed last night, I found myself laying in bed ordering a pizza on my phone. And I ordered a pizza, a medium pizza, the big cookie that you can get from pizza places. It's like that big, and they cut it into wedges, and some wings. And when it arrived, I ate 3 or 4 wings and about half of the cookie. And if you've had a binge eating disorder, or if you know somebody who has, you might think, oh, that's not a binge, you know, that's just a excessive snack. But I wasn't hungry. I had eaten dinner a long time before. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't even peckish. Like, I was full still. I had sausage and lentils and a tomato sauce with spinach, and it was really good. I'll insert a picture. I might do a recipe video on that because it's really good, and it's a really easy, pretty healthy weeknight dinner. But anyway, I had eaten that. It's one of my favorite meals, and I was full. And I ate that and some raw veggies on the side, cucumber, peppers, and some snap peas on the side. I was full. I ate that after being already full, and that was my first real binge in 3 years. And I just have to evaluate why. I have to evaluate why so that I can fix it. So like I said, I found myself stumbling out of control with my eating the last few weeks, and I didn't mention it to someone, which is big. That's big for me. I mentioned it to someone who's close to me. I was in the store, I was talking to them on the phone, and I said, oh, I'm just, you know, in here getting some chocolate because I'm stress eating. And they said, well, what's stressing you out? And I said, you know, actually right now what's stressing me out is that I think I'm losing control of my eating. And that was big because, you know, there's the shame. After I had eaten all that food last night, I felt the shame that you get after you do that. So there is the shame when you're going out of control with your eating, that you don't want to tell anybody, because you might just be, especially if you're a big person, you might just be met with, oh, well, just stop eating all that food, just like put it down, just don't buy that chocolate. And it's just not that simple. It's just not that. If you know anything about psychology, it is just not that simple. So having a person that I trust, who I'm close to, who can support me, is just invaluable. And I even think that that has made me brave enough to make this video and talk about it. I don't know what to do when it comes to all of the things that come with binge eating. It's hard to get by with binge eating without also acquiring a food addiction. And the sweets thing is coming back for me. I had control of my cravings for sweets, and I've lost that in these last few weeks of stress eating, and then with my binge last night. Half of that big cookie from pizza place, it's not as big as like a cookie cake. It's like, you know, it's about that big. Half of it, that's a lot of sugar. And I'm not a person who usually likes things just extra sweet, you know, all of the sweets. I'm usually a savory person. So all of these sugar cravings are gonna be hard to combat now. Because once you're in that, it's hard. It's a slippery slope. It's hard to climb out of a sugar craving, a sugar addiction, really. So I have to deal with that, the biology of that. I have to deal with the psychology of wanting to sublimate my inability to deal with the stress I'm going through with food. I have to combat my sleep issues, find a way to do that, because something's got to give. I have to figure out how to do it. So this is an elephant that I'm eating, a situation I'm dealing with, and it's my life. You know, I am fighting for my health, you guys. That is a huge thing in my life. I am trying to be healthy. and holistically healthy, so that I can teach my children how to live a healthy life, so that they never have to deal with mental health and obesity, because mental health and obesity are the two things that have made my life hell. And not to say that I've just had a hellish life, but even before all of the domestic violence and my husband abusing me, mental health and obesity have made my life hard. And I don't want my kids to go through that. So I need to heal myself. I need to drop another at least like 70 pounds. And I need to get my mental health in order. I need to have good eating habits. I need to be able to, I don't need a sugar addiction. I need to be able to go through stressful times without reaching for food that I normally wouldn't reach for, so that I can teach my kids healthy coping mechanisms. I can't teach them if I don't live it. And I'm not a do as I say, not as I do type of parent. I think if you're having bad habits in front of your kids, you can't blame them for having them too. So I have to do this. I have to do this for my life, and I have to do this for my kids' lives. I don't want to die early. I don't want to die early because I'm eating the typical American diet. I don't want to die early because I eat healthy most of the time and then binge every couple of weeks. I don't want that. So I want to live, and I want to live healthily. So this is what I'm dealing with. I mean, I don't really have a silver lining thing to say. I don't even really know what I'm going to do. I might try to do some fasting to help with the sugar craving. First and foremost, I think I got to deal with the sugar cravings, because it's hard. It's difficult to not reach for stuff when you're having that addictive craving. So I have to deal with that. So what really helps you to deal with that in a biological way is fasting, and when you're eating, staying away from sugar. And that might even mean I have to stay away from fruit largely, which sucks because it's spring and all the fruit is so good right now. I've been getting the best strawberries, y'all, the best strawberries. But I might have to stay away from fruit for a couple of weeks and do some intermittent fasting just to get rid of the sugar craving biologically, because right now my body thinks it needs sugar to work, which it doesn't. But that's how biological addiction works. But addiction is a biological thing, not just a mental thing. I wish I had something more happy to say, but I do know that I will make it through this. I do know that if you're watching this video, you have the ability to make it through this. And we're in this together, y'all. There's a lot of people who deal with this, especially in this country. We do not have a good food culture in America. So you're not alone. Reach out, find support groups. There's Overeaters Anonymous. Now that's actually the only one I know of. But if you go online, you can look up and see what resources that you have for these things. There's also eating disorder clinics that you can go to where you actually stay there and they put you through a program, but that's for people with really good insurance or a lot of money. So that's something you can look into. I'm gonna have an email address down below. If you need somebody to talk to about these kind of things, email me, okay? That's a business email for people who want to sponsor videos and things like that. But also it's open to you guys. Email me. I want to hear from you, okay? And if you want to continue to hear about these kind of things and the other things that I talk about, parenting, holistic health, fermented foods, gardening, just natural parenting, attachment parenting, conscious parenting, holistic living, all those kind of things, hit the subscribe button down below, comment, like the video, all those things. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Bye-bye.